Hey guys, how's it going? Big Dave here. Welcome to another video. So I have been working on a deck for the last few days. I have finally got a finished product to share with you. So let's do what we always do. We'll go in and take a look.
They will never catch me.
Now I want you to remember, guys, that I only really play off-meta decks. So yes, there are stronger Druid decks out there right now. Well, definitely stronger than this. But this is getting wins and it is fun to play. So I am, of course, going to share the fruits of my labor with you. Now, this is Quest Druid. The reason I'm playing Quest Druid is because we got two cards that really help us, well, this archetype from the Knights of the Frozen Throne set. They are Nash and they are Malfurion the Pestilent. Those two cards really just gel so well with this whole concept that it just made sense to try it. Now, this deck did start as a 30 card list, but it was just missing that late game punch. You can't rely entirely on the quest reward to get done. So I had to make it a 40 card list, and I had to put inside the Athreus just for that extra little flick over the line at the end. And since I have done that and since I've tweaked it, I have got a 70+% win rate. I can't tell you exactly what it is because unfortunately my Overwolf thing, whatever it is called, has given up the ghost. So last I checked, it was 75%, and I carried on winning from there. So I can only imagine it's still plus 75%. It must still be plus 75%. I'm rambling. Let's go into it, guys. Gameplay is going to come over this now, and I am going to go through the deck list as ever. So we have got 2 Pounces. This is a card that we got. I believe this initially dropped in Rastakhan's Rumble, but it's 0 mana. Give your hero to attack this turn. Again, every spell that Druid has that gives them attack is in this list. It makes sense because that is what we're trying to do. Therefore, Pounce fits really well. We've obviously got the quest. We've got 2 Planted Evidence because Planted Evidence can give you more attacking spells. So we obviously run them. But you can also find other things to help you out of scenarios. If you are running low on cards, you might find a Nourish. If you want, well, you get the impression, you get the idea, guys. It's a really, really good card, and it fits really well with this list. We've got 2 Eterniate Maws. Your opponent is going to want to stop you from smacking them in the face. So one of the easiest things they can do to prevent that is to play a Taunt. Priest like to do this, and you can single target silence with the Eterniate Maw, but it also has a flip side. It can give a minion immune for a turn. So we do run Park Panther. It's a 4/4 with rush, and when it attacks, it gives your hero 3 attack that turn. If you make it immune for a turn, and let's just say you're playing a mage, as I was earlier this evening, you run it into a skeleton, they can then hero power because they've typically played Wildfire at that point, so it makes it susceptible to a ping. If you give it immune, it's still a 4/4 that they can't just clear with a ping. They have to do something else to get that minion off the board. They want to get it off the board because they don't want you to keep gaining attack. Therefore, it gives them something else that they have to do. So Eterniate Maw is a very good card in this list and works both ways. We've got 2 Due Process. Now, this isn't in to try and fatigue our opponent. That's not why we're playing it. We're playing it for our benefit because the curve of this deck is incredibly low. So most of our cards are 2 and 3 like mana, and you're not really bothered about drawing. This is just really good. It's a really good card for this list because it just keeps refilling your hand. That's what you want to do. It does put a little bit of pressure on your opponent because a lot of decks, especially Mage, Priest, Druid, they sit on cards that cost a lot of mana. So Scythe and Athreus is a good example. Rogue, I played a Rogue earlier tonight and they sat on an 8 mana spell or whatever it was, 7 mana spell Sprint. It sort of punishes them for being a bit greedy at the start. So Due Process fits really well. So there's a reason, guys, I've been streaming on my own. You can probably tell. It's because I keep getting my tongue tied and I keep making stupid mistakes. That is why I'm still streaming on my own. But once I've got my confidence back and I can do this easily, I will share the channel with you so you can hopefully join me on stream. Moving on. 2 Earthen Scales. The biggest minion that we play really is the quest reward, other than we do play Scythe and Athreus. So this just you know, we want to generate armor. We are using our face to clear a lot of minions. We do generate a lot of armor anyway on the progression of our quest, but this just helps keep us safe. That's what we want to be doing, and Earth and Scales. And it's a nature spell as well, which works well with Topia. We've got 2 living seeds. Now, I was running the 2-mana beast. I forget what it's called. Give me 30 seconds, 2 seconds. Wicked Claw. I was running that as well. That is a good card. But there was a few situations where I drew into living seed and I really needed my Park Panther and I didn't hit it. I hit the claw instead. And it just felt bad. So I cut these completely and I have replaced it with another card we will get to in a minute. So our living seed now only draws into Park Panther. But that's good, because even if we draw our Park Panthers, these aren't dead cards because we do play Topia, like I say. So these are 2 mana, summon a 3/3 with Rush, which is still pretty good value. We've got Mark of the Spike Shell, obviously for our quest reward. That's what we want. It generates another Guff the Tough into our hand, and we want to smack our opponent in the face. We have then got Brown Bronzebeard. Has a few uses in this list, but obviously he's only really in there for Scythe and Athreus to help get you over the line at the end of the game. Feral Rage, like I say, every attacking spell that we have for Druid is in this list because we want to be attacking all the time. Nash is the card that came over from Knights of the Frozen Throne and is fantastic because Feral Rage can give you 4 attack or 8 armor. Nash gives you 3 attack and 3 armor, so there's no choose one aspect to it. Incarceration, this is what I replaced the Wicked Claws with, and I have to say it was a stroke of genius because this has got me out of a muddle more times now than I can, well, every game pretty much I've played since I put it in. I have used it for various reasons, whether it's what I want to smack my opponent in the face or whether or not it's a really obnoxious minion that I want to clear, but I need to pump a bit more value into my Sylvanas before I can steal it, and Incarceration gives you 3 turns in order to do that. Absolutely brilliant. I'm surprised this isn't played more often, although Arcane Devourer is a much better card, does a similar thing. And again, same principle as the Eterniate Maw. If your opponent plays a taunt and you want to smack them in the face, you can just make it dormant for 3 turns and smack them in the face anyway, and that can be the difference between winning and losing a game. Prince Renthal, obviously we're a 40 card list, so we'll draw a line onto him. Park Panther, I've explained. We've got Widowbloom Seedsman because we are obviously Druid, so we want to draw and we want to ramp. This guy does both. Flipper Friends, we do run Scythe and Athreus, so we want the 6/6, well, the 1/1 Otters with Rush, obviously, but they're a good board control against, say, let's just say, Warlock. They flood the board with Imps. The 1/1s can help you sort of stay in the game at the very least, let's put it that way. Nourish is in here. It was in here for draw, but then I put the due process in, and I didn't really need it for draw anymore. I needed it for ramp instead. And then I played a game, this was back when it was still a 30 card deck. I played a game and drew both my Nourishes in the bottom 10 cards where I already had 10 mana and I already had a full hand, so it felt pretty bad. Hence why I then put in the next card, which is Wildheart Guff, because if you play him, you set your mana for 20 for the game. Therefore, you can play your Nourish and ramp, or you can play your Nourish and draw cards if you really need to, but hopefully by then you've played your due process and you don't need to. But ramp is good because the more mana we have, the more dirty things we can do to our opponent. Spreading Plague is just an obnoxious board that sometimes your opponent's got to get through. Really good against Warlocks. These, you know, they struggle. Even with their buffed up imps, they do struggle to get through the 1/5s, which is really good. And they go wide without any consequence. So take that, you Warlock players. Sylvanas, like I say, is good. It's either single target removal or theft. And the Priest I just played, I don't know if that's the deck, the game I'm going to put over the top of this. The Druid one was a bit better, or one of the Druid ones were a bit better. But Sylvanas, I stole, when I played against the Priest, I stole his Light Shard, which was really, really good actually, because that kept me, you know, it was one less minion in his Resurrect pool, which just felt really good. Malfurion the Pestilent, like I say, is the Death Knight card. Really good because his hero power goes to either choose one, so you get 3 armor or 3 attack. The 3 attack is really good against, you know, for helping complete the quest. But once you are Malfurion, then you can really do some dirty damage with your Guff. Scale of Elixir, obviously, because we're Druid and we want to be able to clear wide boards. This helps us do that quite easily. Topia, like I say, we don't run an amazing amount of nature spells in this, but we do run some. So Topia can give us a bit of value, and if you can play 2 in one turn, nature spells, that is, then sometimes that 6/6 worth of attack with rush can get you through a taunt. And then finally we round off at Sire Denathrius, and that's it, guys. That is the list. And like I say, this list here has done me really well. On stream last night with my other list, I went 7-0, which was fantastic, but I was only climbing up through, what was I at? Gold, because I'm now climbing through platinum. Although it doesn't really matter because it works off MMR, and I was diamond last season, so the players I'm playing against were either diamond and or legend last season anyway. So yeah, this deck is working well, guys. I have beat hunters, druids, warlocks, mages are a piece of cake. I have taken a few losses. One was a demon hunter, and that was down really to my misplay. I have lost to a rogue who just had the absolute dream. It had turn 4. They had played the graveyard card, the double death rattle card, and then they went into the trigger any death rattles draw card, and they hit. They had 2 8/8s with rush. They had 2 5/8s. Then they hit another 8/8s with rush, and then another acolyte, and the board was just full of like 8/8s and 5/8 taunts. Turn 4, there was nothing I could do. Insta concede, draw a line under it. And I lost against Demon Hunter, the Rogue. I did lose against a Priest, but again, that was more down to my bad plays than anything else. Deck list and everything is going to be down below, guys. I will keep playing this because I really do enjoy playing this list. No one expects it from Druid at all. And it can do some really, really disgusting things and is fantastic. So there you go. Thank you so much for finding this channel. I will post a link up above now to my other channel so you can see what I've been doing for the last couple of years and hopefully take some inspiration from those decks. But I will move on. I will continue playing this, but I will move on to another deck. I've got a couple in the pipework that I want to give to you before this event finishes, so I'd best get cracking on. Till then, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoy this deck. If you do, or if you make any changes, as ever, please leave a comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to like and sub to the channel. I do bring as many decks to you as I possibly can in the time that I've got to do it. Work is crazy busy at the minute, and it will be up until Christmas, but I am going to try and get at least 2 videos out every week from between now and then anyway. Once the new set drops, we'll definitely be bringing some more content out. But there you go, guys. Thank you, as I say, for watching. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I will see you in the next one.